It's time for the Lovable Me Show. Based on the award-winning book series, I Am a Lovable Me. Get ready to have some fun learning with Lovable, our resident enlightening bug. Are you ready? Close your eyes and let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Now open them. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lovable Me Show. I'm Sharon Penchina, your host and author of the award-winning I Am a Lovable Me books for children. In just a few moments, I'll be introducing a special guest who's joining us all the way from the Middle East. She's going to teach us all about the essential life skills that you can teach your children to support them when it comes to living happier and healthier lives. But before I introduce her, I want to take a minute or two to remind everyone just how powerful affirmations can be. And for those of you who are not already affirming your goals and desires, please consider using them by getting started today. Because all it really takes is for you to decide on a goal that you want and simply create an affirmation that works for you. You'll want to say it each and every day as a way to empower yourself, knowing that you're creating a positive habit and behaviors that will help you realize your fullest potential. And if you are someone who has children, cares for them, or teaches them, then let this be a reminder to you to get them on board as well. Now, here are a couple of things to note when saying affirmations. When you choose an affirmation, make sure you select one that speaks to you. Keep it short and simple and to the point. When it comes to your kiddos, you might want to start off with something as simple as an affirmation like, "Today is a great day." And then remind them to say it when they wake up first thing in the morning, and then a few times throughout the day. Remember, repetition is key to forming habits and behaviors, so make sure that they repeat it often. Next, go ahead and write it down. Now, this gives your affirmation more power and intensifies your commitment to repeat your affirmation throughout the day, which will help you actualize your goal. Visualize it. Imagine what your affirmation looks like. Your thoughts about it and the pictures you conjure up all help to create a blueprint in your mind that will help to positively program your subconscious mind to create a habit that supports your goal. And I'll say it again, remember to repeat it throughout the day, using it as your mantra. And don't forget to connect with the emotions that your affirmation evokes. What does it feel like? Project ahead and think about how it feels when you've actualized your goal, you've realized it actually occurring. Your feelings and emotions become the driving force that direct you to take action that's consistent with your affirmation. And make sure you say it like you mean it. And last but not least, expect it. Expectancy gives rise to attracting in and accepting the good that comes your way. It's all part of the receptivity and one of the keys to manifesting your goal. Okay, now let me tell you about today's guest, Dana Barto. She's an experienced child and parent coach, a communication expert, and a professional self-development speaker and trainer. She's co-founder of I Can Self-Development for Kids, the first kids and youth coaching organization in the Middle East region. Now, following a successful 16-year career in the corporate world and holding numerous high-ranking positions, Dana chose to shift her career to the fields of personal development and coaching. This shift enabled her to combine her strong corporate experience with a solid coaching approach to help and support her clients. She holds an MBA degree from the Sydney University of Technology. She's a certified master coach, master NLP practitioner, and a certified children's coach. She's also currently obtaining a PhD in natural medicine to complement her current practice and support her clients toward natural health and wellness. And most importantly, she is the mom of 2 twin boys. Dana, welcome to the Lovable Me Show.
Hi, Sharon. I'm very happy to speak with you and your audience today and be part of the Lovable Show. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, we're so excited to have you here. And I want to just jump in and have you share with both myself and the audience, everyone who's watching, a little bit about what self-development coaching is and how that applies to kids' development coaching as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you know, there's many definitions for coaching or self-development coaching. How I tend to define it is helping someone discover who they are, what they stand for, and then empowering them with skills to handle the ups and downs of their lives. So when I work with kids, I do exactly that. I help them discover their strength, their weaknesses, what they stand for, their beliefs, and why is it important to live according to their belief systems. Also, I help them understand their uh, where those belief systems come from and understand their values and why also is it important to live according to their values. And after that, we empower them with essential life skills, things that helps them, handle, the ups and downs of growing up. So if you like, it's like sports coaching, where the coach helps kids develop skills and ability and confidence to do well in sport. We do the same. We help kids develop the skills, ability, and confidence to do well in life.
Uh-huh. I know in so many walks of life and so many different arenas, it's always important to identify strengths, and identifying those things literally and sort of parlaying that and helping kids, realize their fullest potential by encouraging those things and cultivating those things. But I wonder when it comes to helping children understand their beliefs, because those can be very deep-seated and sometimes we don't even know what they are. Some of that is so deeply embedded that it's not something we're consciously aware of. I wonder how you go about identifying that.
Mm-hmm. So beliefs are mainly statements that we carry around in our subconscious mind about, ourselves, people around us, our community, really all aspects of our lives. So we accumulate thousands of them, through our lifetime, and we gain them through what people say to us. Basically, influential people like parents, caregivers, and teachers. So most of those belief systems are unconscious and they're developed in childhood. So, for example, when a child experiences setbacks or disappointments, they develop belief systems or they create new ones. And those belief systems really need evidence to hold. And that's where we start. We tackle those belief systems and we kind of break the evidence that holds that belief system. So we're able to eliminate the belief system and help the child thrive.
Yeah. We talked a little bit before the show started, and as you know, my work is focused on sort of the 0 to 7-year-old age group. During that period of time when children are walking around in basically a theta state of consciousness and very highly suggestible. They're in a very high state of learning mode, and a lot of the beliefs that are developed happen during that period of time. You work with kids that are more in the 8 to 12 range, so you're actually dealing with, those beliefs and behaviors and habits that were developed in the earlier years. And some of that, probably means, again, identifying and making a lot of alterations. So I would imagine it's a little more challenging at that point. Is that your experience?
Yes, it is. Like you said, kids develop those belief systems when they're younger. And so when I get to, the age group that I deal with, 8 to 12, most of their belief systems are almost set. So for example, their beliefs, they might have beliefs that they're not good enough, or they're shy. And these things come from what parents say to them. So that's why it's so important to not to label kids, and to make sure that we don't define them, but that rather their behavior. So if a child acts lazy, we don't say you're lazy, you're acting lazy now, right? So it's kind of separating them from their behaviors.
Yes, it's the behavior, not the person.
Exactly.
Right. So as far as the life skills that you teach, the essential life skills, I'm sure some of this comes into play in also dealing with those maybe old and what we would like to think are outdated beliefs in terms of, getting to, getting that child to again realize their fullest potential. What are some of the life skills that kids need to develop?
Yes, thank you for the question. That's a really important thing for parents to know. What life skills do we need to empower our kids with? Basically, the life skills, life in general, life skills help us develop resilience. Okay, so it's what distinguish people and how they handle situation. So when we talk about essential life skills that we need to empower kids with, we have to look at stepping outside their comfort zone, how to step outside their comfort zone, how to be responsible and independent, how to manage fear and anxiety. All of these are so important to learn at a young age, how to handle change. I see that a lot in Dubai with kids, with parents who are unable to handle change. And so they kind of transfer their lack of skill to handle change to their kids. So they develop more anxiety. For example, shifting negative self-talk, how to do that, eliminating negative beliefs, how to work with, if you discover that you have a negative belief, what to do about it, and how to kind of remove it, and change the eliminate what makes it hold in your life, how to make decisions. And all of these are so important for kids to learn. And the thing is, they are teachable skills. They're not something that you have or you don't. A lot of people think that confidence and resilience are things that you either have or you don't have. It's part of your personality. But the thing is, these are teachable skills, and some kids are lucky enough to have parents who teach them those skills at a young age, while others don't. So it's all about how we learn these skills.
Right. So it sounds like there's a lot that goes on in terms of teaching the parents as well, or there's a huge part of it is educating and enlightening the parents as to how to go about this. Because I would imagine, I don't know how the children come to you. Are they coming to you through their parents initiating a desire to, assist their children, to support their children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of kids do come through the parents because the parents discover that there's a problem, not a problem, but their kids are facing challenges that they're unable to handle. And sometimes, as parents, we're not able to help them as well because we're either emotionally involved or we kind of don't have that skill ourselves. So it's really hard to teach it. So they come to us, basically the parents bring the kids and, or sometimes, the kids themselves, if they hear, because we go to schools and we teach kids about supportive beliefs and limiting beliefs and how they are developed. So sometimes the kids themselves ask the parents, to join our workshops. And that's how we start working with them. But it's very important to work with the parents. So when we first started our company, most of the time we were working with the kids alone. But then we discovered that if the parents are not involved and on board with, learning the skills and enforcing those skills at home, then it's not going to work. The program is not going to work for the child.
Yeah. And, I know you live in Dubai. Do you find that the issues that kids and both kids and parents face are common? Is it a sort of a universal theme, or does it differ somehow in the region of the world that you're in?
I think a lot of the challenges that parents and kids face are very similar everywhere because the world is becoming such a small place and it's becoming very global. So you see a lot of parents moving from one city to another or, changing homes. So a lot of the issues we face are maybe school issues like friendship challenges, especially with girls. I find that with boys, it's always anger management. So and I think technology and games and social media has a lot to do with that as well. So yeah, but I think these issues are global at the moment. The only thing maybe I see in Dubai, which is a bit different from maybe other places in the world, is kids who change management. So because kids have to change, cities, and Dubai is an expat, basically city. So you have a lot of people moving in and moving out, and that could be very difficult for the kids to learn. And so it's important and imperative for the kids to learn that skill, managing change.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear that these programs are integrated in the schools because it seems like that would be one of the areas that a lot of these challenges, whether it's anxiety or stress for children really show up. Just a lack of feeling, accepted, low self-esteem, all of those issues probably really rise, to the occasion when they're in that social environment with other kids. So with that being said, I know a lot of people would say that it's the parents' job to coach their kids and help them develop the essential life skills and to, do a lot of the work that you're doing with them. What are your thoughts about that?
Yes. Ideally, it is the parents' job to do all that, to coach the kids and help them, develop those skills. But there's a few reasons, and I will go through those in a minute, that kind of stops parents from doing that. And one reason being that the parents don't have those skills themselves. So if you don't have the skill, how can you teach it, right? A lot of parents don't have the decision-making skills, or like what I said before, the handling change skills. Another reason is there's also a lot of emotional aspects. So, for example, with me, when it comes to a challenge with my kids, I find myself emotionally involved, and then I need to seek someone else's help, right? I think a lot of parents probably face that because I'm so emotionally involved. It's like the doctor, you don't treat your family members, right? And I think it's the same with the coach. When you're acting as a coach uh, in a parent situation, then it's a bit hard to coach your kids because you're really emotionally involved. There's another reason, which is parents are always stuck in a specific parenting style. And when they do that, whether it's like authoritarian or permissive, when you're stuck in that specific parenting style, then it's harder to shift, and so
Mhm.
you're unable to shift to a coaching style, parenting style. And yeah, so they're unable to coach their kids. And probably another reason, and which I find a lot, is that kids find it more well, the kids find it easier to talk to an outsider, someone who's not involved in their
Yeah.
situation. So a parent is always involved, and they always want the best for their kids, and they're always sometimes unintentionally telling them what to do rather than coaching them towards, the what a result or a goal that the child might want or have. So these are the main four reasons why parents sometimes don't aren't the best coaches for their kids.
Mhm.
Having said that, I can give tips. So when I coach parents and kids, I give them a lot of tips and of practices that they can do at home, and later on maybe in the interview we can do that, and give a few tips that parents can do
Yeah,
at
yeah,
home,
yeah.
which
I
is
would,
very
I would love
helpful.
that. While you were talking about that, I was thinking, you know, when you say kids, don't always want to hear from their parents what they will be open to hearing from someone else, and sometimes that even comes from, a relative or a friend of the family, someone who, that child might look up to, might be also instrumental in, reaching that child on a level that sometimes a parent doesn't because of their level of frustration, because of their old beliefs about how to parent based on the way they were brought up. So yeah, coming from someone who is holding a neutral space and is open to hearing that child where they're being heard, and they're again you're looking for those qualities and strengths within them to help them realize those things. Sometimes it just comes that much better from someone from the outside. So having support is always a good thing, is what I'm trying to say here. So how can parents
I,
oh, go on, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to say something, that it's so important for parents to create space for their kids and to like create an environment where the kids are heard, rather than, so if you kind of wait and listen rather than talk, then I think the kids will open up. That's why it's always best to spend one-on-one time with your child, and that one-on-one time is non-confrontational. So you're either in the car or going for a walk, because when you're sitting face to face and you're expecting them to talk and tell you what they're going through, that never happens, right? So you need to create that space where they don't feel judged, or they don't feel like you're trying to tell them what to do.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I always found that going for a walk per se was a good thing because, you're both out in nature typically, and there's sort of a letting go of, whatever is stressing everybody out. And it kind of evolves very organically, the conversation, if you just start to talk to them without even having an agenda. And then you gain, the trust, you establish goodwill, you're listening, I think children become more open, and it just sort of starts to flow out, where you can find out, how they're feeling about something, or what it is that might be, bothering them. That always seemed like a great approach to me when I was, parenting my son at a younger age, and even with my grandchildren. So I always found that to be a great way to approach it. Um, so what kinds of coaching tips can you give parents, that they can, walk away today specifically having something tangible that they might want to put in place?
Okay. So one really important coaching tip is not to be stuck in a specific parenting style. Okay. So you have nurturing parenting style, authoritarian, permissive, or even a teacher parenting style. So if you're stuck in one of those, right? The problem is none of those is wrong or right. It's just a parenting style. But when you're using one and which dominates the others, for example, if you're nurturing your 16-year-old son, right, that's not gonna do well. Or if you're permissive all the time. So I really encourage parents to kind of look at their parenting styles and what are the messages they're giving their kids. I'll give you an example. So, for example, when we're looking at a nurturer or what we call the helicopter parent, right? There's always a message that you give your child, and that message is, "You need me to protect you. You can't make it without me," right?
Right.
So that message comes a skill that doesn't get developed. Okay, so that skill could be to learn from their mistakes or decision making or responsibility, or even they develop low self-esteem. So it's always really I think parents have to really look at how they parent, okay, in terms of style, and try to modify that according to the age and the situation, okay,
Right.
they're going through.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is so important. I think we kind of, that's, and my, one of the questions I did want to talk to you about is sort of the growth mindset, but it's, the growth mindset is something that a parent, uh, should think about as well. And what you're saying is, we need to evolve our parenting skills. It's not a set of rules that is applicable throughout your child's life. We need to be flexible and adjust accordingly, is what you're saying. I think it's very
yes,
important.
yes, we do.
So,
I can give you some other parenting tips.
yes.
Uh, for example, if you want to avoid them developing limiting beliefs, it's always you need to avoid labeling them, because children start believing the labels that we give them, and it really shows up in their behavior. So if you're labeling a child as shy, right, they will become shy. They will start acting shy. Um, um, Also, don't set expectations, right? A lot of people do set expectations for their children, because when we set high expectations, then the child has to live up to those expectations and they feel bad if they don't. And if you set low expectations, then the child also feels that maybe you're not appreciating them, or or you're setting too low expectations, and he can't do it, right? So he's not capable of doing what you're setting for him. So I always say, try to help your kids set their own goals and make plans that to reach those goals, instead of kind of guiding them through
Mhm.
everything. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's another tip that I can give
Yeah.
parents.
I think we don't want the expectation to be set so that the child feels that unless they accomplish that, then they will not have the love or acceptance from the outside world, their parents, whoever. And it's again, loving and accepting them for exactly who they are, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's great. Is there something that before, I close the show out, I can't believe the time went so fast. Dana, if there's anything that you want to share, something that I might have missed asking you about, anything you want to share before, I close the show out, I'd like you to take that time and just give us your pearls of wisdom.
Well, I just want to say that always lead by example, parents always tell kids what to do, but we kind of forget what we're doing. So if you lead by example, you're kind of indirectly giving your child the message that, or you're giving your child ways to develop essential life skills. You're also showing them and guiding them through life. And finally, just be patient because it takes a long time, right, to develop new skills or habits. So it also takes a long time to remove, unwanted habits or beliefs. So just be patient with both your children and yourself.
Exactly. And it's not what we say, it's what we do that really is going to make a difference. So before, again, I close out, is there information that you would like to share in terms of anyone that wants to reach out and connect with you directly on your coaching program?
Yes. Well, you can look at my Facebook page, which is I Can Self-Development for Kids, or website, which is icanbe.com, B as in BEE. And there's a lot of information. There's some blogs there that you can have a look at. There's some tips on what to do. All of the tips that I shared today will probably be on there as well. So you can go there.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining in today. It was great having you here, and it was very enlightening. Good reminders for sure. So thank you, Dana, for joining us.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And for the rest of the audience, please be sure to check out all the I Am a Lovable Me books today by clicking on the link at the very end of this video. They're available in hardcover as well as audio iBooks. And also, you'll never miss any of our great shows by watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope every Friday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you have a topic you think parents and caregivers want to hear about and you'd like to be a guest on my show, just drop me an email. I'm your host, Sharon Penchina, and I'll be back next week with more great self-empowerment tips for you. Thank you all for joining in today, and be sure to have a fantastic day.
Thank you for watching The Lovable Me Show. Also, if you have any questions for Lovable, go ahead and ask away. Don't forget to visit us next week, right here in the Facebook bugler.